Welcome to Diva Court. Hey, I have my co-host with me today, Dana Smith.
That's me.
And our podcast is going to be based off of edutainment. We want to educate while we entertain. So, in the news is the George Floyd case. And
can I say something right quick?
Yes, you can.
I am not responsible for the things that I say.
Okay, so she comes with a disclaimer.
For the record.
For the record, pay no attention to the things she says. All for entertainment purposes only. Not legal advice. And we don't own the rights to a lot of the things we're going to talk about. But back to the topic at hand, which is the George Floyd case and the verdict. We've got a guilty verdict. Does that surprise you?
No, it does not surprise me.
And why?
I just felt like we shouldn't even went to trial. Like,
come on now. We are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
I guess this is America.
Yes, it is.
But no, I was not surprised. Honestly, if it went the other way, I just would have been prepared.
Now that's amazing because I was surprised by the guilty based on history and how things have played out before. This is not the first video we have seen where a law enforcement officer has acted inappropriately or abused his level of force or went outside of his training and caused the death of an African-American male. This is not new. So my surprise came by the fact that the jurors got it right.
Well, the makeup of the jury, I kind of watched the makeup when they had they didn't show you the pictures, but they said there was, I think, like 4 black people, 6 white people, and 2 mixed race people. So I just kind of figured that since there was no one really over a certain age that was like 40 that was white, we might got that one.
I think there were people on there that were over 40 that were white, but I think that they weren't really old. I think the oldest juror was a black female who was 60. Yeah. I remember them making an issue about her age. But you are correct. That old time mentality it wasn't there. These are people who are very welcoming of different people of different color, different beliefs, different orientation, that kind of stuff. So that, I think that did make a difference in terms of the makeup of the jury. Because if you look at history and you look at the type of jurors that you usually have, it was predominantly white, if not all white, in situations such as that. So I'm sure that played a role, the racial makeup and the age makeup.
And the knee on the neck.
And that video, honey, that video is just atrocious. Yeah. For lack of a better word. There's no other way to describe that. That 9 minutes and 29 seconds, it just, no matter how many times I see it, I still cringe. Because, when you respect the sanctity of life, to think about kneeling on someone to the point where the person's actually saying, hey, I can't breathe. And for you to be so comfortable with not believing them. After the first 2 minutes, maybe the first 2 minutes or the first 3 minutes, I might not believe him.
I think we're assuming that he didn't believe. I don't think he cared.
Well, that's true.
That's like, to give him the assumption that he didn't believe him is being nice. I mean, the knee was on the neck.
Well, that's why I say maybe in the first few minutes, if Chauvin had said, I didn't believe him at first, he lost that presumption of I didn't believe him and bled into what you're saying, which is, I don't care. Because even when the bystanders were saying, hey, we don't know if you know, but we're going to tell you, look what's happening to this guy. It was more, that's when he got to me, in my opinion, in the video, to, I don't care. And put his hand in his pocket as if he was doing a photo shoot.
What made it even worse is that one of the officers said, I think he passed out. And you still remained on his neck and said, oh no, we're not going to move.
It's bad.
Like, this is your favorite parking spot.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Bad. It is
bad. Crazy.
But coming up in that case is going to be several motions that are pending before the court. Right. You've got the Blakely motion, and that motion is for Chauvin to decide whether he wants the judge to determine the issue regarding sentence enhancement, or if he wants the jury to determine sentence enhancement. And we can tell from some of the videos. I was on court TV before, and we saw clips of Chauvin telling the judge that he would prefer for the judge to make that decision. I think it's wise because, in my opinion, the judge was very
biased,
if you want to call it that,
all on his team,
leaning
a cheerleader
to that side in
wanted
terms
to
of
just
some
hand
of
them
its
the
rulings.
keys. You're free now, sir.
So don't expect that kind of deference if you are of African American or color and you go to court thinking that your judge is going to give you some of the rulings that were issued in this case. That's not necessarily available for everybody. It might just be available for law enforcement or cases with this magnitude of attention or media attention. So maybe because so many eyes were looking, and it could be that Judge Cahill felt like, I have to make it look fair. So I'm going to
That would create a lot of emotional intelligence. He would need a lot of emotional intelligence. I don't think he has it.
Well, that's true. We call it Diva Court for a reason. Because the Diva
I don't think
get to decide what she thinks the court is or is not doing.
Right. I think that would take, I mean, they like to scheme though.
Well, I mean, you're talking about human beings at the end of the day. Come on now. Judge is not a robot. He's a human being with a family, with ideas, thoughts, things that he's brought to the table, his life experiences, his position regarding politics and his position regarding non-politics, and all of that come into play in terms of what how you see things and how you present things.
I think we'll know how he really feels when it comes to this sentencing.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on him regarding this sentencing.
Yeah.
People were concerned about the jurors having to come up with the right verdict based on the evidence. I don't think that was hard for these jurors.
It wasn't
I mean,
hard.
how could you look at how the state presented the case and look at the video and look at the testimony of the 9-year-old and look at the testimony of the two 17-year-olds who are now 18 and look at the video of everybody who was there who was supposed to be this not angry mob led by a 9-year-old.
The angry mob.
The angry mob. That was led by the 9-year-old.
But should they have been quiet? Like, what could they have done? Like, how are we not going to be angry? And when people say that, it just shows that you lack any type of empathy for someone being in pain. Oh, it's the drugs, it's this, it's that. But at the end of the day, if he was a straight crackhead, this person is dying in front of you. So they're supposed to be what? What emotion comes to mind?
Well, they're not dying in front of you. You're killing them.
Yeah.
So you're literally
Not even
committing
dying.
a murder.
You're murdering.
You're murdering this person, and you think you can use their prior drug use as a reason to do so?
Right.
Come on now. Where do we do that? We don't do that with our kids. We can't do it with our spouses. Nobody else in the United States can do that. So why should someone, because they have a badge? I saw a sign one of the protesters were wearing. It says, "Murder with a badge is still murder."
Facts.
So,
I have a legal question. So if they are found, he's found guilty. So he has a felony, he committed a felony. Would the police officers get, what is the word I'm looking for? Please edit this out. Felony murder. Could they get felony murder? Because they were there while the guy was being murdered and they were helping, assisting.
I'm glad you said that. Yes. Because right now, pending before the Court of Appeals, that's a good setup, is a motion from the state to add third-degree murder to the other 3 that are waiting for charges.
Okay.
So they're only facing manslaughter, and it was never part of the original complaint. Okay. But the state has decided to go forward with adding the murder.
Okay.
And that is your felony murder in their state.
Okay, cool.
Because some states call it felony murder, some states call it murder in 3rd degree, 2nd degree, they'll give it degrees. But that's what the state is now seeking to do, and that's on appeal. That's why I don't understand why the other 3 have not tried to strike some type of deal by now.
Right.
I would have struck a deal and testified against Chauvin.
Maybe they was waiting for the verdict.
Well, that's a bad idea. Because now that you had the verdict, your bargaining chip just went out the window.
Well, no, they probably, here's the thing. We got one. I don't know if we're going to get the other one.
I think you got him.
You think? The only reason why is because we're using a whole different jury.
Well, you're going to use a whole different jury, but what planet are they on? Because if they're on planet Earth, they've Excuse me, are we bringing some people back from Mars? Because I know we have.
Listen,
we have a rover. I know we have something up there.
I don't trust them.
So are we planting and raising some people that we're going to bring back? I don't trust.
Listen, I've been on these. I've been on Facebook, and these people are like so crazy about him getting committed. him getting a guilty verdict. They're out there.
I think those people out there just because of his race.
It's the same people that voted for Trump.
Well, thank God we have President Biden. So they're outnumbered.
If you say so.
If they weren't outnumbered, we would still be doing Kofifi.
Not Kofifi.
Kofifi.
I do know Kofifi.
Hey, Kofifi is gone, and only a select few
Oh my God!
know what Kofifi means.
They was trying their hardest.
Oh my
to justify
God! Why can't you just say the man fell asleep with the phone and he was typing while he was sleeping?
Why you just can't say he literally?
Why you got to make him special? Okay. If you want to make him special, just say special ed. We respect that.
Yeah. I don't know the other police officers are going.
I think they have a trouble.
You think so?
I think they have a hard time. And the reason I think they're going to have a hard time is because of how Attorney Blackwell laid that case down. Okay? Mm-hmm. When he broke it down, because the defense of my training made me do it. All right? Let's start with the legal theories. Mm-hmm. The first legal theory is my training made me do it. A 9-year-old could see that was wrong. Okay, check. That's out the window. Right? Mm-hmm. The chief of police testified against me. Right. Okay, check. That's out the window. Right. Other law enforcement officers who train individual on the use of force says, I don't even know what that is. I mean, her testimony was literally, what would you call that? She said, I don't know what that is. So when you have the person who's supposed to train you in use of force saying, that's some new, and then she stopped in the middle of her testimony because she realized she's now responsive to the question. I don't even know what that is.
All right. I'm about to throw it around on you. You're a defense attorney. What would be your defense?
No, my defense
Win the argument.
My defense would be this.
Okay.
I'm only here 4 days. That's why I'm testifying against this joke. Excuse me, I'm a canary. Let me sing. I want to testify. Can I get some type of plea deal? Please, if you could just let me do 5 years, 4 years. How about probation? I'll take a probation. I would cooperate with the state. If I were defense counsel for the other three, any of the other three, any of them, okay? Even for Tal, I'm on crowd control and the crowd, and you got to say, I control that crowd now.
I did my job.
On the sidewalk. I did my job. I am testifying against Chauvin. And the reason I'm doing that, because as a defense attorney, I know you lose that bargaining advantage once the state has already convicted one.
Right.
So you've got to get to the table way before the conviction, because now the state's not going to bargain with you.
So they all going to sing. Watch. Maybe Tal will sing on the other two.
He can't. He's not the singer. The one that's been there Lane, 4 hours.
Who going to sing?
I don't think Lane is going to sing. Okay. No, it's King. King, I think King can't sing because he was the tallest guy and he was in the middle. Wasn't King in the middle?
No, I think Lane.
Lane was in the middle. Okay, so Lane can't sing either. I don't.
Tal's singing.
You know what? They're all
Tal
going
is singing.
They're all going to prison.
Tal gonna be talking about things that he gonna be like that drug dealer who we got to tell about the big. You know that one time, right?
I say
you think
they're all going.
So what would be your defense if you didn't take the deal? And now you're in the court. You're the defense attorney. They hire you.
Responding at superior. I'm responding to my superior. Okay. I asked my superior. There's a chain of command here. I've got a boss that's in the room, and I'm responding to the superior that's here. And I tried to get the superior to do something.
So is that the different. Nazi defense?
It could be not see. Not see, not hear. It could be any one of them. All as long as it keeps me out of prison, not see, not hear defense. Okay, so he did not see, I did not see, he did not hear. And all I'm just trying to do is not see the prison cell. So can we work something out here and realize that I was responding to my superior?
I'll say whatever you need me to.
Look, I'm defense counsel. This man was kneeling on somebody's neck and murdering him. What did you expect my client to do? Be next? So he couldn't be next.
I feared for my life.
Yes, I was afraid. So the defense is going to be tough.
Okay.
You can come up with the same one that Chauvin came up with. My training made me do it. The angry mob made me do it. But you can see how that worked out for him. Right. So if you're a defense counsel and only an idiot, doesn't change their position in the face of new evidence. And what is new evidence? Guilty, guilty, guilty. All 3 counts.
Somebody gonna have to dig up Johnny.
Well, you know it can't rhyme from the grave. If there's a gun in the car, there's a gun in the bar. If there's a knee on the neck, there's a death on the deck.
The second officer will, what would the second officer do?
Second officer will murder you, okay? The first officer will talk to you, and the second officer will murder you.
All right.
So you make sure you get your stuff together. But, that Blakely, I can see him saying, I want the judge to sentence me. Okay. The pressure now is on the judge. To be honest with you, I don't think there was any pressure on the jury. Mm-hmm. Like some people are saying, Maxine Waters, Auntie Maxine. her statement wasn't all that, and people want to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Anything that it takes to free a white police officer,
they'll do it.
They will do it.
So Auntie Maxine didn't say anything. In fact, if you look at the totality of what she said, she was responding to the interviewer, and the interviewer said to her, "So what if you don't get a conviction? What are the protesters to do?" And she said, "We just got to keep protesting. We got to keep marching." So for people to come out and make comments about how she was talking to the jury, I'm like, what jury? The question was about what should the protesters do? If the question was what should the jurors do, and she responded, then I would say, okay, yeah, now she's talking to jurors. And she should, as a political official, have checked the question. You understand? So if you ask me a setup question, because I know what you're looking for is you as an interviewer are looking for controversial stuff. Because, I mean, the person interviewing her, the goal was met. Ask her a controversial question. You know her to be a controversial politician, and blow it up. And that's exactly what happened. His plan worked. I don't think it worked on the jury because one, you have to prove that the jurors heard it,
right,
and two, it affected their decision.
He was just the defense attorney was just, he was grasping for anything. He had a case he couldn't win.
Yeah. Well, the one thing you want to do as a defense attorney is always perfect the record. And perfecting the record means if you don't raise it, it's a use it or lose it. Yeah. If you don't mention Maxine on there, they can't mention her on appeal. So you have to say, I need a mistrial judge. You knew you're not going to get one because you knew that the evidence, was clear that your client was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, Taser.
Oh,
gone her.
Taser.
That's what she had.
Bright yellow or dark black.
Taser.
Yellow taser.
Taser.
Or black. How many times do you say taser while looking at your gun before you realize you're holding a gun?
She is in this organization called Kill Blackie. And what you need to do is set up your defense before you kill the black.
Is that it?
That's
she was setting up a defense.
She was setting up a defense.
You know what? That could be a point.
Yes. Or she thought that was her baby daddy.
Oh, God.
And they think all blacks look alike. I'm just saying.
Could be. But in the heat of the moment, did he really look like a baby daddy?
She can't tell they all look alike.
She had to look around the other cop.
She couldn't tell the taser from the gun, so that could have been her.
Well, that's true. She been confusing stuff.
She confusing something.
If she don't know the difference between the taser and a gun,
tell the people
she might not know the difference between Daunte Wright and her baby daddy. Okay?
Tell the people what we talking about.
Daunte Wright is the subject, and it is just mind-boggling that an officer on the force, 26 years.
26.
26.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, that's a lot. It would take a long time to count. 26.
I know, I had to stop.
If we were to do 26-second pause, it would bore you to tears.
Right.
But the thing about it is, you are training other officers. You are supposed to have your taser on your less dominant side.
While she was training. She was in training.
And your gun on your dominant side.
She was in training.
So that you cross your body.
Yes.
So your mind never makes the mistake you're alleging you made in this situation.
As
you have to cross your body. If you're left-handed, you cross to your right side.
Right.
If you're right-handed, you cross to your left side.
And it's a different color.
Bright yellow. Versus the black barrel of a gun.
When I was watching the video and I saw the gun being held, I didn't think that was her video. I thought she was off in the corner talking about, I'm about to tase him. But that was her talking.
Yeah, that was
I'm
her.
thinking it was
You said it had to be somebody else.
I thought it was somebody else.
That must have been somebody else's gun and she's yelling taser.
Exactly. Like, back up. I'm going to tase him, person who's holding the gun. That's what I saw. But this stinking heifer.
She's wrong as two left.
Should we just throw her into the jail?
We're going to give her a Diva court gavel back. We got to drink to that.
That's mighty good. This might go down a little bit faster.
Hey,
than,
that was good. That
I really can't be responsible for what I say after that.
Especially since there's nothing in it.
It's gone. Just like her career.
I agree.
It should be gone.
And her freedom.
Should be gone.
And her freedom. There are certain things you can't have an excuse for.
No.
And I know there are people out there that's saying, oh, but she, in the heat of the moment, split second. Well, we split the seconds. Taser. Those were 3 split seconds that she could have split and put her gun down.
I have heard people say he was in the car. The car is a vehicle, which is also a weapon. which means that she should have shot him.
Get out of here.
Yes.
On a traffic offense? Come on now.
Yes.
This started with an air freshener. How funky was it? It didn't smell that bad. Did it smell like weed? It must have been a weed air freshener. That was the aroma of marijuana that had them up in arms. Look how many officers responded to a air freshener.
That's
I can
crazy.
Understand, okay, I ran the tag. There's something wrong with the registration. Can I get a citation, please?
You know what the worst thing is? And when I was watching it, they were saying that the tag, they're back up in the tag office, that a lot of tags are expired. So why are we just stopping people when you know the system is backed up? And then the reporter asked the chief of police, are your officers aware of this? And you know what he said?
Don't say no.
No, he said yes. Yes.
Wow.
So you pull someone over
For a tag.
knowing
that you can't call the DDS or the DMV to verify it because they're backlogged.
So why did you pull him over? Because he looked like your baby's daddy.
Okay. And you don't know the difference between a taser
blacks.
and a gun.
And the blacks.
That's sad. That is sad. But our condolences to the family.
Is she charged?
She's charged.
Did you hear that they had a whole police force
in front of her house?
In front of her house, gated up.
Yeah. Protection.
It looked like the house was boarded up, like it was abandoned. Protection.
You're not going to see that.
We
type
need
of
protection from you.
That is correct.
That's crazy.
So here's the sad part, though. There's another officer who shot a white female in a back alley, which he said was a dark alley and he didn't know. And she came out and he went guns blazing because that's how they're trained, gun blazing. Better be tried by 12 than carried by 6. And that mentality has to change, especially because it's only being applied in the neighborhoods of color.
Right.
I don't see them giving that same deference. You can have an assault rifle around your neck with rounds that could take out a whole nation, and nobody is shooting you. You don't even draw the attention of law enforcement in a big old tanker that's coming there to take people who are peacefully protesting to jail. Yeah. So there's something wrong with how we're policing.
They have two methods of policing, and I heard that when they're in those suburban areas, it's more like checking on people, making sure everybody's good. But when they're in our area, it's the jungle. And they act accordingly to the jungle.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell. You can look at the number of killings that's going on. But for her to be charged with manslaughter, that's another way of showing that the system is not consistent, because that black officer was charged with murder.
Wow.
And he was convicted. He was sentenced
to 12 years. Is this the Moore guy?
Yes. And she's charged with manslaughter. So here we go again. White female shoots black male. Manslaughter. Black male shoots white female. Murder. I'm just saying, Ohio. I'm just saying. Ahmaud Arbery is coming up.
Yes.
And they have motions pending. And the motions that they have pending is that the defendants, Travis and his dad, were in jail, making jail calls to family members and giving statements that sound incriminating.
Oh, so they were their own jailhouse snitch.
Correct. They were snitching on
Are you snitching
themselves.
on yourself? Dumb criminals should be locked up.
Well, he's dumb and he's locked up.
And
so what more are you asking for?
There it is.
They can't help you any further. Now they're waiting to try the dumb criminal. But he's in the jail.
That's an example of white privilege.
Well, that's true. Because I think I could say it no matter what they told me. I'm recording you and we're going to use it against you in a court of law. No, they won't. Let me just keep saying this.
Exactly.
So he was on a conversation with his wife, telling her, he meaning the dad, was on the conversation with his wife, telling her that his daughter is posting Ahmaud Arbery's dead body from the scene on social media.
Was she supporting Ahmaud and going against daddy? Is this some daddy issue?
This was not against daddy. I guess she was trying to show the trophy daddy got that day.
Oh, like a fish.
When he went hunting.
See, who's raising these people?
You can see.
Okay.
Let's get the gun and run him down the neighborhood. Wow. That's who's raising
They just want to just put his body on the wall.
A picture of his
next
dead
to
body.
The deer head.
Posted on social media. So dad was telling mom, it's hurting me. Take it down, get it down, whatever. Mm-hmm. The defense counsel is objecting that there's no probative value to what was said. And I find that...
Tell the people what probative value
Well,
means.
probative value means there's nothing good about this that is necessary for a jury to hear in order to make a decision as to his guilt or innocence regarding the charges of murder against Ahmaud Arbery. So there's no value. You're just doing it to be mean. You know, it's just like irrelevant evidence. You just want to talk about the day when I was in kindergarten in 2000 and whatever, and you want to talk about the day I ate bologna sandwich versus mayonnaise sandwich, and that's not relevant. How's that going to play in?
Right.
But it's relevant in my opinion because it's talking about the incident for which you are in custody. It's talking about the photographs of the deceased. It's conversation about what to do with those photographs, whether to take them down from social media or not take them down from social media. And not only that, the most incriminating thing said by the father, and I know it's left to interpretation of a jury, is that no good deed goes unpunished. So
he said that.
The daddy.
I took him out.
And they don't want to thank me.
I was about to stop because I didn't want to have the thing to be beeped. I got me one. I got me one.
I can't put him on the wall, but I got him.
I got him.
Yeah. So his statement is to I think it's one of his male family members. I think it might be a nephew or uncle or a friend or something like that. And that person, he's telling them no good deed goes unpunished. So of course the defense is afraid of that statement, because if he's making that statement, is he saying I killed this young black man and y'all are not thanking me, y'all are charging me. So the defense has filed several motions and is begging the judge that they exclude the jail recordings, which mark you, across this country we use jail recordings all day long.
And twice on Sundays.
Hey, 2 times on Sundays. Once in the morning and once in the evening. It's like a vitamin. You know, you take those sometimes twice a day. That's how they're using jailhouse calls. You always tell your client as a defense counsel, please.
Shut up.
Shut up. You have the right to remain silent. What some of y'all lack is the capacity. Be quiet.
They want to tell everybody.
Oh, I want to tell my story because I know when I tell it, y'all going to believe me how wonderful this sounds. No, you're just going to dig yourself in a little deeper. So that's what's going on as it pertains to the Ahmaud Arbery case. Okay. Talking about tasers and shooting, we get to the most controversial in the news today.
I think it's very simple.
Shooting.
Very simple.
With Ma'Khia Bryant.
Very simple.
It's not simple. Why do you think it's simple?
Here's the thing. If you do not have the backstory, it's very simple. I watched the video. I see the police pull up. He gets out the car. All of a sudden, people who were standing still start running towards him. One girl is falling backwards, and another girl, like an Alfred Hitchcock movie, is doing this, right? Not only is she doing this, a grown man next to her is kicking this woman on the ground. Not only does she do that, she turns around and she darts off to the distance of another woman and decides to lunge the knife into this girl. As a person who is supposed to protect and serve, I see this. My first instinct was to say, get down, get down. Everybody need to get down. Nothing happens. Now I see this woman stabbing this one girl and turns around to stab the other girl. He decides to shoot her. I think he did his job. I'm sorry.
I disagree. And I might need to sit to that before I give my position on this.
All right, tell me, because I don't know. I'm just saying.
I just want to clear it up for all the Diva Court listeners. This is the root of lack of training. And let me tell you why. Mm-hmm. The first thing law enforcement officers are supposed to do when they get to a scene is secure the scene. The call came in, and I'm sure radio heard it. There's somebody out here trying to stab us. You expect a knife when you arrive.
Right.
Okay? So when you get there, you start positioning people. You over there, you over there, you over there, you over there. You clear the scene. He walks up calmly. What's going on here?
Yes, he did.
Guess why? Because I've been trained to just gun down whatever's going on here. So I don't have to worry. I got this, and this is the end all be all solutions. I don't have to assess the situation. I don't have to check out what's going on.
What's going on?
Hey, you don't even know, walking up so leisurely without securing the scene, who the victim is.
You know what you heard? He heard this.
No, let me tell you what he heard.
He saved the black woman.
Is that the black girl over there running with a knife? Oh, yeah, that's not Becky. I'm sorry, Becky, you going down.
But she wasn't even running she was stabbing.
No, she was charging. And what he had several options,
Right.
several options. This is not the only country where people are charging at other people with knives. Come on now. Come on.
We in America.
And those countries are not gunning down their citizens.
Right. We in America.
We don't know the backstory, and we don't want to go into the backstory.
Right.
Because the cop doesn't have time to get the backstory.
He doesn't.
So it would be unfair to assess his decision based on a backstory.
Right.
I don't want to talk about the backstory. I don't want to talk about what's going on with her, what her mental health issues are.
Right.
I don't want to talk about what happened last week at school, 2 weeks ago, last month, whose baby daddy, who stole him, who took him back. I don't want to talk about any of that. I want to talk about law enforcement training, because if we don't stay focused, we never fix the problem.
Facts.
Law enforcement, there were lots of cars. I saw other dash cams that showed that one officer, the one with the accent, I think a black officer, was able to put one in a car. Now they doing it, but they're doing it after somebody got shot and killed. You sit in that car. The girl was like, oh, no, I'm not part of it. Sit in the car. He put one in the car,
So
he
this
closed
was
the door.
after the stabbing.
After the shooting.
Okay.
After the shooting. He's putting one in that car. He's putting one in the next. He's just opening cars. I'm like, but what's this, the master key or something? This joker got keys to all these police cars. He's opening cars. He's putting people in the back seat of cars. He's putting some of them even in the front seat because he's running out of seats. And he's like, no, you sit in the back, you sit in the front, and he's putting them all in the cars. And I'm like, that's what should have happened
In the beginning.
when y'all arrived.
Right.
On arrival, you put people in the cars because you're detaining them.
Right.
You're not arresting, because remember, law enforcement officers get to detain to determine and assess the situation and for their safety.
Right.
They get to do a Terry pat down. That's hey, let me do a frisk.
Right.
Let me see if you have any weapons on you. Get in the car. Sit in the car, sit in the car, sit in the car.
Right.
So it would have been nobody for her to charge at had they, when they showed up,
That's true.
knowing what they were coming to, right? Knowing what they were coming to, which is a knifing, because 911, what's your emergency? These girls are over here trying to stab. Okay, so I'm expecting a knife when I get there.
Right.
I'm going to separate people because I don't know who has the knife. And I'm going to pat people down before I put them in the car for my own safety, because I've already heard knife. Now, if people want to get mad at the cop because they had to sit in the back of a police car
Then
for a good 20 minutes or 30 minutes still, it saved your life. I didn't gun you down.
Now, with that being said, that's great. So you think the other cops that arrived first were too lackadaisical?
They're all failures.
They all failed.
They're all, if one is a failure, they're all failures.
All right.
And it might be that the failure is their leadership and the lack of training for these gentlemen. That's why I keep saying you can't graduate. Thank you, Lottie.
Good Lord.
With
Good Lord.
GPA of good Lottie, and give a man a gun after 3 weeks of shoot at the biggest part of the body.
Right.
You're hired.
So what should he have done? Because she in mid stabbing.
You have several options.
All right, I want to know.
Let's get back to taser. You want to go back to the taser?
There ain't no taser.
You
Stop her.
could have tased the young lady.
Tase her.
You could have shot her in a different portion of her body to stop her.
Now, here's the
To
thing.
be honest with you, if you look closely at that video, he could have killed the victim
that's-
or the alleged victim. Because to
Yeah.
be honest with you, that was the aggressor in the pink. If the story that's out there is correct,
Right.
the person who was killed is the one who called the police.
Now, hold the horses right now. So you're saying that he could have shot her in the leg. These are not snipers. These are not SWAT. These are just okie dokie police officers who go to the gun range based off of their requirements. They shoot center mass. They're not out here marksmen.
So how did they learn how to shoot center mass? Oh!
Well, that's the biggest space on the body.
So here's what you do. Stop doing the little circle with the dot and put a leg on it.
Put a leg on it. If you like it, then you should have put
a leg on it. We got to sip to that.
That was so lame. Put a leg on it.
Change the target and put legs on them so that the officers can train to learn how to shoot in a different spot. Teach them center mass, because there's going to be situations where you're going to need center mass. But teach them.
They need sniper training.
Hey, teach them something. I don't know if you call it sniper, liper,
SWAT,
diaper,
SWAT,
squat.
They need something better.
Something better. Train these people accordingly. Stop bringing these people in, handing them a gun, taking them to a range and saying, good luck to you.
Here's my issue. If you call the police, then you can't be on no gangster shit.
You can be on gangster.
No,
shit.
you can't.
Let me tell you something.
If you gonna come out and we gonna do it, let's do it. Let's not pretend.
Now you're gonna make me go to the backstory, right?
No.
Okay, let's
I
go
don't
to
want
the
you.
backstory.
Nope, I like my story better.
I'm at my house, my domicile.
Okay.
My place of abode.
Okay.
I don't have to retreat. My stand your ground property.
Right.
You get dressed in your nice pink suit.
Hot pink.
Assume an arguendo. That means assuming the facts are true as reported. And
facts not in evidence.
And come to my home.
Okay.
And decide, what, did you come for Sunday dinner? Because I sure didn't invite you. And you came for her when she didn't send for you. You came to fight.
But you assuming she didn't send for her.
Well, if I sent for you, guess what? You better show the text.
You better come correct.
You better show the email. Oh, that's where you de-escalate. That's when you don't come. Even if I sent for you, because if I'm sending for you for a stabbing, don't come here and say I was a victim of an almost stabbing, because you came for the stabbing, okay? What did you sign up for? You signed up for a stabbing because I said, come over to my house and see when I stab you. Don't come over to my house saying, and she had a knife. And can you believe she tried to stab me? Excuse me, I read the text. It said, come over for a stabbing. So if you're invited for a stabbing, expect one, okay? So you cannot leave your house to confront me at my house.
Right.
Took a car because I guess you didn't live close enough to walk.
She took
You were not walking distance.
She went on a journey.
You took a field trip to my house.
Right.
To my house where I stand my ground. Right. We got people standing their ground. If we go all the way back to Trayvon Martin. Okay. He was standing his ground at Trayvon's apartment complex.
Right.
And I can't stand my ground at my house. So why are you there? Here's the problem I have.
Okay.
Somebody was going to die that day.
It was.
Okay. Or get stabbed badly. But let's say if you are the aggressor, and it's the difference between the officer getting stabbed, the person whose house you went to getting stabbed, or you hot pink getting stabbed, I say hot pink get stabbed. If somebody has to die.
And that's true.
If somebody has to die, she should be the aggressor.
That no lies told. But what I'm saying is, all those police officers. He wasn't even the first officer on the scene. It was a lot of police officers. And she decided to take matters in her own hands.
Cop number 2 will murder you.
And she went beast mode. You can't. Black lives don't matter. So all of these things that are happening, the George Floyd, the Trayvon Martin, the hands up, don't shoot, all of these things. And you still thought that you was going to do a stabbing.
So could it be that because she knows that Black lives don't matter, she knew it wasn't going to matter?
Where's the violins?
Whether she had...
Cue the violins.
Whether she had a knife or not. I mean, let's stop. Trayvon didn't have one.
He didn't.
George Floyd didn't have one.
Sure enough.
Breonna Taylor didn't have one.
She didn't have one.
Should I keep going?
They're killing people for less.
Should I keep going?
So what I'm saying...
So if her mindset is, let's say her red button got pushed. That was easy.
Staples. And we will do a commercial for you.
And she said, they pushed my red button. And because I know Black lives don't matter.
Right.
I called the police and I said, these girls are trying to stab me. They show up. And to this point, nobody's put Pinky and the brain in cuffs or the backseat of a car. So I realized I've already seen 3 officers and I don't see them doing nothing. I'm going to get the knife and I'm going to go outside and I'm going to handle business.
So this was a suicide mission now.
Well, it could be. Because remember, subliminally, she could be thinking, it doesn't matter what I do. If these girls are terrorizing me and they bopped me upside the head last month ago, I tried to file a police report and they were like, well, we didn't see it. We don't see any marks on you. And people have experienced that. I mean, real talk. There are people who are saying, hey, this person is torturing me or they're terrorizing me. And if there's no blood and guts, cops are like, call us when she pulls the knife.
Right.
So if you don't have preventative measures in place and you don't have training in place and you don't make a conscious effort to put your money where your mouth is, other than in a Glock, this is what you're going to get.
So I don't think he should be fired. And I don't think that we should bunch him in with all of the other police unjustifiable.
Well, stop for a second, HR, before you decide. Hold the phone a minute, HR.
Right, go ahead.
Before we determine whether we're going to fire him or not, I would like his file, please. I need to see
If he has shot.
if he's got some issues in the past that we're not addressing, just because he might have gotten this one right, or he didn't get it right, but we can't say he got it wrong. The jury has to still be out. You can't get a verdict on him because you can see a video of someone lunging at someone else with a knife. You understand? Right. So before we talk about not firing him, I agree, administrative leave, but we need to investigate, right?
Okay.
And this time we investigate before we what? Incarcerate.
Unlike
they usually do for black people, because they incarcerate before they investigate. Okay? Because a $20 bill should not result.
Really? Where's the due process?
In a revolt.
Where is the due
And we
process?
don't even know if it's fake.
We don't.
And I digressed because the little boy said, and I shouldn't call him a little boy, he's a young man.
Yes, he was.
I hold it up to the light, don't ask me what I'm looking for.
He said that.
And then I said, okay, I guess this one's not. And I said, oh, I guess this one is. I don't know what I'm looking for. I haven't been trained. So if he doesn't know if it's a fake $20 bill.
And that was the catalyst.
How is George Floyd
dead today
supposed to know? And why is he dead?
That's true.
Facts.
In evidence. It's all in evidence.
Trump is no longer in the White House.
Yes.
Trump and we're going to close episode 1 with how happy some of us are and how much blood pressure medication sales have dropped, because we know they have.
I'm just going to say this, and I know y'all going to be all in the comments. My life ain't changed. My life is still the exact same. The only thing different is I don't see Trump.
I can tell you why it's not changed. Because he still got you locked in a house with a mask on your stuff and your keys.
No, he wasn't.
Had he dealt with COVID, your life would have changed.
You know them.
But because it was fake news first, then it was a Democratic hoax, then it didn't exist at all, then it was a flu, then it was going to go away like the flu, and then it killed 500,000 people and counting. So you're correct. It still hasn't changed yet. Because are you vaccinated?
Hell no.
So that's why her life hasn't changed. You're still going to wear that mask.
I am.
And much ain't going to change. But I tell you when it's going to change, if you catch a little bit of that vid.
I'm not
because COVID-19, if
serious.
you catch it, is very serious.
No, I believe in
all
COVID.
Jokes aside, it will put you in a damn ICU.
Yes, it will.
On a vent, and they will flip you on your belly.
Listen, I believe in the COVID. I am not one of those people who don't believe in COVID.
It's not fake?
It is not fake. Okay. What I don't believe is that there has been enough time for us to make a decision on whether or not to take a vaccination. And here's the other thing. The companies don't even believe it because they are like, hey, by the way, in this small print, we don't know if this works.
Facts in evidence.
And then I can't sue you. Oh, by the way, if you suffer from, and then you know how on the TV show, all of the
we call
symptoms.
That the fast-talking lawyer at the end.
All the
may
symptoms
cause diarrhea, sexual promiscuity, gambling, killing of a family members, and losing of a job. Yeah, that's called the lawyer at the end.
You cannot have, you don't have any recourse. So why am I putting something in my body that A, you don't know if it works or not, B, if it does something that can, affect my health, there's no recourse, and C, I still have to wear a mask anyway.
Right, and you still can get the vaccine.
And
you can still catch COVID, get it. But you won't die. That's what they're saying. That nobody who's caught it after getting the vaccine has died from it. So that's good news.
So they claim.
So they said, don't sue us because you're not dead. And COVID would have killed you and you had nobody to sue.
Right.
So it's still a good vaccine.
You know how they was giving COVID deaths to everyone? Like you could have got in a car accident, but if you had COVID and died, they blame COVID for it. if you get the vaccination and you get COVID and you get one of those symptoms, they're not going to blame it on the vaccination. They'll just blame it on the symptoms. Then they'll reverse it back.
It's COVID that killed you, not our vaccine. Thank you.
But I just really want to see Biden and Kamala do something. Like, you know, I don't feel like anything's
About
going
what?
to be different.
There's so
Exactly.
much. There were 4 years, ma'am. 4 years of buffoonery.
Can I?
And to be honest with you, when people used to say elections don't matter because anybody who's in there going to do what they want to do anyway, right. I think the last 4 years says no. Because somebody who was smart enough would have made sure that 500,000 people not die from this disorder.
Here's the thing. When President Trump gets this information about COVID, you do also know that the Congress gets the same information, and they had the information, and they didn't do anything with the information either. They had the fact that COVID was spreading around. They had that it was traveling through China, and instead of doing something, they were doing the impeachment, which we all knew that it wasn't going to do anything. There was not enough people for him to be, even though he got impeached, there was not enough people for him to get convicted.
Well, you have to remember, the man ran on, I could kill somebody in the middle of it.
Exactly. And
get away with it.
And he proved it.
So you can't expect Congress to do anything because they are capitalizing on the numbers. All they see is numbers. True. He brought out voters that they've never seen before, and they say, we like them, and if we can keep them, we will make you die from COVID. We will pretend it doesn't exist.
Well, I'm talking about the liberals. They didn't do anything either, though.
Well, you see, the problem is you didn't have a majority there. They had the White House. They had the Senate.
They didn't make a sound. They talked about...
Oh, they were making sounds, but you got to remember...
I didn't hear nothing about them saying
Well, the problem is you couldn't hear them long enough over the tweets. Because every time we tried to say something, it was like... The tweet is loud. I can't hear you. There's another tweet. I can't hear you. There's another tweet. That's the difference between President Biden and President Trump, is that President Biden's got it calmed down to a level where you actually can focus on what is he doing. But when we were getting, hey, what's going on over here? No, look at this red tag over here. Look at over here. Look at over. Don't look over there. Because there was so much noise, so many distractions. We never really focused on any issues. Come on now. What did that man run on? What was he? What did he say he did in 4 years that he was going to do?
Hire me.
That's it. I can shoot you. I can kill you. I can do whatever I want to do. I can grab him by the boop. Okay?
So this is what I want from you. Said, what do you want to change? I'm going to tell you what I want to change. All the people who are in jail for weed violations. I don't care if they bring it in pounds. It's too many people out here in corporations that are doing the exact same thing, and now that it's legal, they're making millions of dollars. Back when we were doing it, we were going to jail. Same drug. I feel like those people should be released from jail.
I agree with you. I agree with that. So I think that's what they're calling criminal reform.
Okay.
They're looking.
It's been called criminal reform for years.
Well, maybe they should change the name of it and call it doing something now.
Remarket it.
Doing shit today.
Okay? Right. We gonna change it right now.
Doing shit about it now. So maybe he should put up a bill saying doing shit about it now.
And you know what else I think should change? This conversation about reparations. I feel like all these reparation reports and this and all this research they had to do, I think that's just them kicking it down the line for the next person. We got stimulus for COVID like this. And I'm not saying reparations has to be in the form of money. It could be in the form of getting loans that, give you interest rates that are so low that you can't lose your property over it.
Right.
More so in the instance of, wealth as far as land ownership, things like that.
Well, you don't have to give it, just give it back, because a lot of it was stolen.
Facts.
In evidence. Give it back.
Yes.
Give it back. I know it's vacation property now,
right?
But give it back. Don't give me something new. Give me back what you stole.
Give me what you owe.
I think if the people who actually had the platform would go on it and speak about giving it back versus giving it to me, sounds as if I want something
that
you
is not
earned.
Owed.
No, right. I'm saying give it back.
Give it back.
Not give me what you got. Give me what you stole.
Exactly. It's not even old. It's stowed.
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 Like a stowaway.
So bring it back. Give it back.
Yes.
Give it back.
So those
if reparations is packaged in, this
Yeah.
is not giving them anything they didn't earn. This is
Right.
giving them back what we stole.
Right.
Giving them back what we burned and took from them. Giving them back the island of Palm Beach that we took from them.
Right.
Giving them back Rosewood after we burned it down.
Right.
Giving them back. There's plenty of places.
Right.
We know where they are. We know their addresses.
Tulsa.
We know the states.
Tulsa.
Giving them back their Tulsa. We know. We
Yeah.
know where it exists. We're not trying to make it up.
Right.
It's still on the map.
On the
Give
map.
it back.
Give it back.
Give it back.
Why is it that America paid for the Jewish community to get reparations and it didn't even happen here?
Yeah. So
And
we
can't
know
get
what
it
reparations look like.
Right. We
Right?
can't get it in our own
Jewish
countries.
people have gotten some.
Yeah. And
Asians,
Native Americans.
Native Americans.
Yeah.
But not the blacks.
They're not the black people.
So give it back. Give it back
Give
to
it
the
back.
blacks. That's a
Yeah.
nice one.
Give it back to the blacks.
Yeah. Give it back to the blacks. All right. Well, we're going to close the show with we thank you all for joining. I am attorney Marcia Mignot and my co-host Dana Smith is
Dana's
with me.
here. Yes.
And we will be back for episode 2 to cover all the topics.
And then some.
Whether hot or cold. You just tell us what you want us to talk about, and we will sip to that.
All day.
Diva Court. Join us next time.
I'm jerking too fast.
We got to drink to that.